All right, when I say Paris, what pops into your head? Probably romance, right? The icons, that incredible beauty. I mean, it's one of the most famous cities on Earth for a reason. But what if I told you that postcard view, the one we all know, is only a tiny piece of the puzzle? Today, we're going to peel back those layers, go way beyond the cliches, and get to the real, living, breathing city that makes Paris a true global powerhouse.
I mean, you have the icons, right? Of course, the Eiffel Tower, pretty much the symbol of France itself.
Then there's the Louvre, home to that famously mysterious smile.
And, of course, the grand boulevards, those glowing bridges over the Seine at night. Look, these images are powerful, and they're definitely real. But they're just one chapter in a much, much bigger and more complicated story.
So that's the big question, isn't it? What is the real Paris? What's the engine that actually makes this city tick? We're not just talking about it as a tourist spot. We're talking about a center of global power, a massive economy, and, a home for millions of people.
Okay, so to really get the Paris of today, you absolutely have to look back at its history. And it's a history of constant reinvention. I mean, this is a city that's been radically transformed not just once, but over and over again through the centuries.
So it starts out as this small fishing settlement. Then it becomes a Roman city called Lutetia, which, fun fact, might have meant mud town. Kind of funny, right? It grows and grows, eventually becoming the very heart of the French Revolution. But the most dramatic change, the one that really shaped the city we see today, came in the 19th century. It was this massive urban makeover.
Before the 1850s, Paris looked, completely different. Imagine a medieval city, a total labyrinth of dark, narrow, pretty unsanitary streets. Then this guy, Baron Haussmann, comes along. Under Napoleon III, he basically just demolishes huge chunks of the city. And in its place, he builds the Paris we all recognize, those wide grand boulevards, the uniform limestone buildings, a modern sewer system. Now, the official story was it was all about light and air. But there was a key unspoken goal, making it way easier for troops to move around and control unrest.
So that whole idea of centralized control, it's literally baked into the city's design. And it points to a much deeper truth about Paris. It's not just a cultural capital, it is the absolute, undisputed heart of French political power.
I mean, just think about how concentrated this all is. You've got the president, the prime minister, both houses of parliament. They all work within just a few kilometers of each other right in the city center. This is no accident. It's basically a physical map of how centralized France's power structure really is.
So if you ever hear Parisians talking about the 7th or the 18th, this is what they mean. They're talking about the arrondissements. The whole city is carved up into 20 of these districts, and they famously spiral out from the center, kind of like a snail's shell. It's this really unique system that gives every single neighborhood its own number and its own distinct identity.
And this power, it goes way beyond just France. Paris is a massive hub for global diplomacy. It hosts the headquarters for some really crucial international organizations, like UNESCO, the one that protects world culture, and the OECD, which helps shape economic policy for the whole world.
And all that political power, it's matched by some serious economic muscle. I mean, you look beyond government and diplomacy, and the Paris region is, without a doubt, the engine of the entire French economy.
Sure, you've got the obvious stuff, tourism and fashion. Paris is home to luxury giants like LVMH, of course, but the economy is so much more diverse than that. Finance and business services are huge sectors, and the city has this booming tech scene. It's even got the world's largest startup campus, a place called Station F.
And hey, if you want to put that economic power into perspective, get this. The Paris region, all by itself, generates almost a third, that's 30% of France's entire GDP. That is a staggering concentration of wealth and productivity packed into just one metro area.
Now, the modern face of all this economic power, it looks nothing like the historic city. Just head a little west and you'll find La Défense. It's this futuristic cluster of skyscrapers, and it's actually Europe's largest purpose-built business district. The contrast with those classic limestone buildings in the center, it's really something.
Okay, so we've talked history, we've talked power, we've talked money, but what about the people? What's it actually like to live in Paris? What really defines the daily culture of a Parisian?
Well, one of the most fundamental cultural divides in the city is all about the two banks of the River Seine. You've got the Rive Gauche, the left bank, which has this history of being the spot for intellectuals and artists. Then you have the Rive Droite, the right bank, which was always the center for commerce and power. And yeah, things have definitely blended over the years, but that classic distinction, it still really shapes the vibe of the city's neighborhoods today.
But you know what dictates daily life maybe more than anything? The density. We're talking over 20,000 people crammed into every square kilometer in the city proper. And that incredible density, it shapes everything. Why apartments are so small, why public parks are so incredibly important, and why absolutely everyone relies on the metro to get around.
And look, to understand public life in Paris, you really have to get your head around this core principle of the French Republic itself. It's called laïcité. It's a really, really strict form of secularism. It demands a complete separation of religion from anything to do with the state. And this has huge effects on, well, everything, from what kids can wear to school to major national political debates.
So, where is this city that's always evolving headed next? Well, right now, Paris is in the middle of yet another massive reinvention, basically getting itself ready for all the challenges of the 21st century.
And this future isn't some far-off idea, it's already taking shape. You've got the Grand Paris Express, this colossal new automated metro system that's going to connect up all the suburbs. There's the Plan Vélo, which is aggressively redesigning streets for bikes instead of cars. And pushed along by the 2024 Olympics and the realities of climate change, the city is going all in on huge greening projects. They're even trying to make the Seine swimmable again, which is just amazing.
So when you boil it all down, maybe the best way to think about Paris isn't as some static museum full of beautiful monuments. It's a living city. It's defined by this relentless energy and this incredible ability to reinvent itself. It's a city that is always in motion, always arguing with itself, and always building its own future. So that leaves me wondering, what do you think is going to define its next great transformation?